Oh yeah, so since a lot of the regulars are here, you guys want to hear a story about what happened to me on Wednesday? It's pretty funny. Hey Gina, how's it going? Oh, your boss called a Karen a Campbell ape today? Oh, I see. Excellent. It's story time? Okay. So, I'm going to tell you guys a story about how I was physically assaulted in the grocery store 2 days ago. Now, I say that, but it was only it was only assault, physical assault in like the strictest legal sense of the word. Like somebody touched me on purpose in a moment of anger and with the intent to move me using force. That is like strictly speaking, that's what happened. Tell me you threw hands. No, so here's the thing, right? Like I'm gonna get to that. It it was too funny to do that. Thank you for the ice cream cone, Andy. I appreciate that. It was too funny. So here's what happened, right? So I'm in the produce section and I'm trying to dick around with one of those like plastic bags you get in the produce section which hold themselves together with static electricity. And they're just really hard to get open. So I'm sitting there dicking around with it. And this like older boomer man comes up to me. Like not up to me, but like comes up next to me to get at the produce. The green bags, yeah, they're like these long plastic bags. They have green on them, or maybe they have like a green hint or whatever. And he's like my size, but easily more than twice my weight. And he's already having like a bad day, I imagine. I'm just sitting there dicking with the thing, trying to get it open. Now he does the trick, which is where you lick your thumb, and then you use the. He was like my dad's age, so like where you lick your thumb and then you use the water friction to latch onto the side of the bag and pull it open immediately. It works like a charm every time. I choose not to do that trick to open those bags because now you are going to touch produce with your licked fucking finger and it's nasty as shit and incredibly inconsiderate to people for you to lick your fucking fingers and then touch food people are expected to then buy and consume. Every old person does it. They just go and then just do it, and with literally zero consideration for what else they're about to do directly after that. Oh yeah, everybody does it. It's so nasty. I refuse to do it. So he does it, right? He opens his thing and he's walking by me, and as he passes me, he goes, "You're gonna be there all day doing that," like kiddo. And I was like, my mind was like, clap back at him. Immediately clap back at him and call him a nasty sack of shit for licking his fucking fingers and then touching everything. Especially after the pandemic. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, especially after the pandemic. Yeah, exactly. They'll lick their fingers and then pass your paper back. It was just an acceptable thing to do. Anyway, so I was like, immediately clap back to him and destroy him. And then I was like, no, don't do that. Like, you just have to get like three more things and you can leave the grocery store. You don't have to be here anymore. Don't like ignore it. Just ignore it. And I was like, okay, so I did. And like I was sitting there dicking with it and he picks up his produce and then he like walks backward into me. Like so he bumps me, which is fine. He didn't bump me hard. It was an accident. And so he bumps me and then he turns around and gets this like really indignant look on his face. But I look him directly in the eyes and I just start laughing at him. And I don't, and because in my mind, I thought he was such an asshole for what he said to me completely unprompted. But then he stumbles over into me, and so I just start laughing at him like ha 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 ha, ah. And he gets this really pissed off look on his face, and I guess he thinks I bumped into him, which I didn't, and so I was like ha 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 ha, and I try to walk by him, and then he turns around right? To face me with his back, like directly, so that I'm directly behind him, and he bends over and pushes me with his butt and knocks me into the produce like display. That was the part that was the assault. Like, he does this. He goes bam, like with his butt, and then just he he booty blasted me. I was booty blasted. This is what occurred. And I was shocked, right? Like, I wasn't hurt. I want to make it very clear. Like, I was not hurt then. I am not hurt now. I do not feel, it was assault, but I do not feel assaulted. It was funny. It was just really funny. And so, and then he and I was like, sir, what the fuck? Like, that is incredibly rude, sir. What the fuck? He's like, you ran into me. That's what you get. And he was trying to yell at me, but the grocery store is really loud, and so I couldn't even really hear half the things he was saying. But he was swearing at me and being like an asshole, and I just kept maintaining that I didn't do anything, and that I was standing still, and that he pushed me, and that he knocked into me, and then like then he like after doing that, after like a few seconds of exchanging like shouts, he just grabs his cart and begins walking away from me, like power walking away from me, like he's running, like he's fleeing the scene of the crime, like he pushed me and is now running away from me. I am like 5'7". I weigh like 120 pounds. This dude is running from me. What an odd occurrence. Oh yeah, our dude dad is the same. He manages to pick a fight everywhere. The guys are so embarrassing. Yeah, so like so and and after like a few seconds, right? I'm like, wait a minute. I've just been assaulted. What am I gonna do about it? And so like and I was like, well, there are three options, right? I can either I can either do nothing, which I immediately like put out of my head. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do any. I'm not gonna not do anything. Like, that's insane. Like, I'm not just gonna sit here and take that. Fuck no. And then I was like, okay, well, grab the bottle of beer out of the 6-pack and run up behind him and smash him over the head with it, then cut him with the broken end. Was my second thought, which I did not do. People always say it's boomers, and boomer is a good way to describe it, but it's really just people getting old. It doesn't really have anything to do with that generation. It just has to do with the elderly. So like, so I was like, yes, the violence, and then immediately I was like, no, not the violence. Like, if I do that, I'm not gonna stream like forever. So I was like, okay, well, my third option is to go find somebody, and luckily there was a manager to hand, right? And I was like, hey, that guy just assaulted me. And he goes, what, that guy? And I'm like, yeah, that guy. And I'm pointing to him as he's walking away. And he's like, what happened? And the manager was like, okay, what happened? And I was like, he booty slammed me. And the poor manager is like, what? And I'm like, and I could feel I got this look on my face because I was at a complete loss of what to describe the event as. I was completely at a loss to describe what happened. And like I was like, he's like, he booty blasted you, and I was like, yeah. I was like, look, here's what happened. Like, he pushed me into your tomato stand. Like, go get him. And the guy's like, okay, here, hold on, let me go talk to him. So he walks off, and then I'm just like standing there, like still pretty flabbergasted. And then the manager eventually comes back without the dude, and he's like, well, he says he doesn't know what happened. And I was like, yeah, no shit. Like, of course he's not gonna know what happened and not like have any recollection of it. Um, He's bored of my story. I know, I'm almost done with it. And so anyway, like I told him what happened, and it was really funny because before the manager went and got him, he asked me if we knew each other. He's like, "So you don't know that person at all?" And I was like, "No, man, go get him." I should have smacked it. So I wasn't facing him when he booty slammed me. I was walking by him and he booty slammed me like essentially from behind. Like I kind of only saw it out of my peripheral vision. And then he's like, and so the manager's like, "Okay, well, do you want to call the cops and file a report?" And I was like, "Ah, shit." Because the answer is no, right? Like the answer is no. Even if I do call them, and even if they looked at security footage, they'd see what happened. But like, there's no like. Oh yeah, it's funny that Mario's sleeping. You just drop your pants and they usually go away. Yeah, that's fair. Uh, but like, there's nothing to do about it. Like, even if I call and file a report, and even if they arrest that guy, right? Like, what am I gonna have to do? I'm going to have to like go to court. Hey, and like, how's this gonna be in court? They're gonna be like Robert, or they're gonna be like, "Sir, could you like? I'm gonna have to go to court, right? I'm gonna have to go on a stand. I'm gonna have to be cross-examined." And I can only imagine the lawyer like coming up to me and being like, "Could you state your full name for the record?" And I'd be like, yes, it's optional Phineas Rules." And they go, "Mr. Rules, could you describe the events that happened on the March the 29th?" And I go, "Yes, I was trying to get produce, and I was booty blasted into the tomato stand." And and I can only imagine that there's like an old country judge in my mind now where he's just leaning over like, "Booty blasted?" Booty blasted. And I'll be like, "Yes, Your Honor, booty blasted." And because even if I use like real terms, be like, "Yes, the defendant shoved me into the tomato stand," they go, "Could you describe how he shoved you?" I'd be like, with his butt." They go, "His butt?" And I go, "Yes, with his butt." "Which part of the butt?" The whole, the entire butt was what was used. Principally the crack is what collided with me, but the whole butt. If he had not been wearing pants, I would have been wedged in between the crack. It was he was thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's just what happened.